Welcome back, my friends. This is the third installment of the Seriously Swirled Mercedes Series. You can join us from here or start at the beginning. Completely up to you. The rock chips and the repair have had 24 hours to cure. The filler and the touch-up paint need 24 hours, sometimes a lot longer to cure. So when you're working on it, polishing it, and wet sanding it, it doesn't pop back out, and you have to start all over again. So we've done a little bit of wet sanding. I used 3000 grit there. We are on an edge, so we have to be careful. I break out the 2-inch pneumatic polisher to polish that to perfection. Perfection is not the word I normally use with rock chips because there's usually always an outline there. It doesn't matter how level you get it. Sometimes you have to be at a perfect angle with the perfect light to see it. And then sometimes they just stand out no matter what you do. So it's really a crapshoot. This car has probably about 150 rock chips. I will not be repairing all of them. That bill would be out of the budget. So I'm just getting the most obvious and ugliest ones taken care of. Some areas you can keep working on that rock chip, keep filling and wet sanding, but we have the one on the edge here. I'm going to be satisfied just the way it is. You're going to have to be at the perfect angle to see this thing out in the sunlight. So this is good. We can move on. Speaking of moving on, let's freshen things up and work on the headliner. We've removed the old headliner. We're going to replace it. We need to clean up now that we have the old one removed and a lot of the old adhesive scraped out of the base of the headliner. Place in the new liner, fit it up, cut it, adhere it, and then clean it up, and you are good to go. When it comes to the leather or the leather and vinyl trim down here, it could not stretch back into place, so we did some custom trim work of our own. That holds it in place. Also, gives it a little bit of a better look because there wasn't enough material to go back onto the original base of the hardtop itself. That will bring us back to the hood. It is completely cut. You can see we have some hazing. It needs to be finished up a bit, so let's finish it. For that, my choice is going to be the F3 finish from IGL. And we're going to use a white polishing pad. This fine finish here was a little bit less aggressive than what I was going to use, all set on the normal hard paint from a Mercedes of this year. However, this is a lot softer than expected and was indeed repainted in the early 2000s. So I'm going to mask off an area. I'm going to use this F3 with the dual action polisher and show you guys, even though it looks a heck of a lot better, we're going to be able to finish this down and make it look even glossier, bring out a lot more clarity, and get that color darker and richer. A noticeable difference as the haze is gone, brought out a ton of clarity, made the little test area there darker and richer, and that's indeed what we're going to use to finish the rest of this hood. And that is indeed what I did. I couldn't help myself and finished the rest of the hood. Normally, I would do the cutting stage all the way around the car first, and then follow up with the finish stage afterwards. But I wanted to see the rest of the hood here. As you can see, tons of reflection, a lot of gloss. Really looking forward to see the boost in gloss that we have, but let's get the protection on that there first. So what we're going to do now is work on the areas from the A-pillar down through the top of the fender that are taped off. We're going to use a different backing plate and pad for that. The Max Shine 3-inch backing plate is what's attached now with the Max Shine 3-inch lamb's wool pad, and that's what we're going to use for the cutting portion in this little area here. The polisher, the backing plate, and the pad give you a nice, smooth ride across any panel you're working on, as you can see with the close-up here. The polisher's on the 3rd speed setting, not a ton of pressure. We are on a curvy A-pillar here that doesn't have a lot of material or clear coat to begin with, so keep the arms moving in a nice fluid motion. Be smooth. Let's remove the residue and I'll bring you in. Although there will be a ton of hazing from the wool pad, all of the love marks and the scratches are gone. That looks good for the cutting portion, so let's continue on with this combination of pad polisher and liquid and continue on from the pinstripe up on the curved area, the top half of the fender here. Once again, with the residue removed, you'll see the hazing, lines of haze from the polisher and the pad, but a huge difference from the cut portion and the portion of the top of the fender with all the swirls and scratches. It's funny to think, but we are removing larger scratches by making smaller scratches, and that's exactly what we're doing here, stepping down in small increments from compounds to polishes and aggressive pads to less aggressive pads, and that's exactly what we have here. I grabbed a different polisher. This is the Flex XFE 83-inch polisher. This is perfect for these areas to finish down. I have a finishing pad, and we are also going back to F3 from IGL to finish up. That will put in micro scratches that you can't pick up with your eye, and it'll make it look glossy and clear, just like that little section on the hood that we did. But it's just, it's really crazy to think about correction is correcting by making scratches. That will do it. We now have everything finished and matching the hood, and everything from the pinstripe up will look like this in no time at all. And we can move down to the bottom portion below the pinstriping, just reset the masking tape, and we can keep on going. All right, very good. Let's pause for a few minutes and clean up some pads. I do get asked about my little contraption here. I do have a designated video on it, but this is a table blasting cabinet I transformed into a pad cleaner. I like my shop surgically clean. So we clean the pads in here, inside a controlled environment, and we do not have to breathe in the dust and the compounds and the debris that we blow out of the pads. And it also keeps it from landing on the cars that we want to keep clean. I do have a few cars that sit and cure while I'm working on other cars. I don't want them to get dusty with some of the correction residue. So this is absolutely perfect and keeps everything contained, keeps us healthy on the outside of the cabinet. I have a vacuum underneath the cabinet here. The hose goes up underneath the unit and attaches to the bottom of the cabinet, collects all the dust, all the debris, all the moisture. As you can see, all that floating around in there, it's stuck to the sides, would be laying on cars or in our lungs. Okay, back to work. We have to complete this top section or portion of the vehicle towards the back, and we need to lift up the convertible top. No need to tape it, and you definitely need to get it out of the way or protect it. You don't want the pad to bump up against it. You get compound in there. You could cause yourself a lot more work getting it out, or you even damage it. So let's pop up the top. I'm going to lift it. I'm going to prop it, get it out of the way. Underneath is going to be a vinyl shelf that the pad can also bump up against, but we can now get the painted portion underneath the canvas top. So let's tape off that vinyl portion so we don't bump the pad up against it and damage it or get compounds and liquids in there. What I'm going to use now is the 3M Automotive Tape. That's different from the precision tape I was using earlier. That was like a lime green or a winter green. This is yellow here. This is thicker, so you can bump the pad up against it and it's a lot stronger and you won't go through it. Where the precision is lower, the pad can pass over top of it without lifting it, getting adhesive on your pad. So this is the one I'll choose for areas like this. So, raised areas, plastic trim, headlights, taillights, the automotive tape works fantastic. If you need to get your pad over top of it, like taping over striping or vinyl striping, then go with the precision green tape. A lot of damage, a lot of imperfections back here, some chips we need to take care of. So there we go with the clean out, fill, sand, and fill again. We're going to have to do that in a few places back here. I want to give you a little bit of a close-up of the damage, the scratching, and the chips, and the nicks. And looking at it up close, you can see just how ugly it is. And we're going to be fixing those scratches with scratches of our own. Side by side, I have the nick to the left cleaned out. This one here to the right has rust in it, and it's exactly what I was doing to the front portion of the hood. And that's how we're gonna have to clean that out perfectly and use our IP solution. Then we can do touch up, fill. So fill, wet sand until you're satisfied with the results. By the way, the unit I'm holding in my hand, the LED, is a Husky model PS300MD. This is about a 200 lumen multi-purpose LED final inspection light. That was sent to me by a viewer, Richard Seam. I thank you very much. I find this very useful and use it all the time. I really appreciate it. So now that we're waiting for the touch-up paint to cure, we can jump back over to the 55 F100. I have the front portion of the vehicle cut, the fenders anyway. So let's finish the hood. The silver hood here has marks like something was raked off of it, pulled off of it. Not many of them. They're spread far apart, but they are rather deep. So I'm going to have to reach for a different pad. The Eurofiber pad will not cut it for this. We do want to cut to the chase, keep temperatures down. So I'm going to go grab another pad. The 5.5-inch Menzerna foam pad is their version of a cutting pad. It's a little coarse, it's a little stiff. It's made just for jobs like this. About an inch tall, beveled edge, does a fantastic job, makes quick work of scratches and swirls. You attach it to a 15mm or a long throw 21mm polisher, and you're going to be in good shape. Okay, that will do it. I use the Eagle Edgeless here, 500 GSM, on the precision correction. I don't want to mar up the paint that I just spent all the time correcting with the wrong towel. Always choose the right towels, and this one here is perfect on harder clears. On softer clear, I'm going to bring down the GSM. It removes product a lot easier. That pad did the trick. That's just the way I want it. I'm going to finish it down even further. I'm going to jewel it before I throw on some protection. But the gray here and also the purple is just popping out. The metallic flake inside is highlighted. It's beaming through, screaming for attention, and I can't wait to see this completed. That's going to do it for this edition of the Seriously Swirled Mercedes. We're getting there. We're pretty much actually halfway through both vehicles, so the end result is coming. Maybe in the next video or two we will get to that. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Catch you guys in the next video.